Hiya everyone, I was just using my necchi and making something and I messed up the dials, and it made me think about how I learnt to use this machine, because it's different to all the machines I've had before. Necchi. So this is the machine I've got. I absolutely love it. It's such a workhorse. It goes through really heavy fabrics, goes through layers like nothing. It's just a really good machine, but it is slightly different. How you use it and set it up for use is slightly different to your average machines. Not this is extraordinary, it's an average machine in that it does everything that an average machine does. It just, the settings are slightly different to it. So I just thought I'd do like overview of this machine and why I like it so much. So when I first got it, I was a little bit like, oh, I'm not too sure I like this bit here, because it was a lying down spool holder and I like the upright one. So I put the upright on. Now I use it lying down and I love it. You need to use this cap because that helps hold the tension of your thread system. So now you just use an upright spool if I'm doing like a twin stitch. So on this machine you have a few dials on the top, and when I first got it I started moving them around, like really think about what they were doing, and messed up my machine a little bit. So this one here, which is above your dials, is not tension, that is your zigzag width. That determines the width of your zigzag only. So that will only come into play when you're using any stitch which has a zigzag area to it, so a triangle. So like your overlocker stitch, zigzag obviously. If you're doing patterned ones that crisscross, that will help determine the width. This one here is, which is above the reverse button, that is your tension. Now mine's on 3. Normally when it comes to you it's on the 4, and that's got the little shaded layer around it, telling you that's average, generally about right. I have mine on 3 just because that's where I prefer it. On the fabrics I've used so far, that's been perfect, and I use cotton weight sewing fabrics. If I have anything thicker, I do adjust it slightly, but tends to leave it there. This one here, your round disc, don't touch it. Leave that alone. That is your machine's tension. It's factory set. I don't know of anyone who has to play with that on a regular basis in order to sew, because that's set perfectly. I've never had to adjust it. The only people I know that really kind of deal with that is when it gets serviced. So the people that service your machine are the people that touch that. This is your reverse. Some of them have like a push button, some of them have a dial. This is reverse. So you do that and it reverses. So you thread it, like you would the normal machine. Okay, so the function, how you get all your different stitches and stuff, is like this. So 0 to 4 is your stitch length when you're using it as a straight stitch. So this is straight stitches. The white one is your normal running everyday straight stitch, and the 0 to 4 will determine how long that stitch is. If you want to do a triple stitch, which is yellow, you turn it to the yellow S1. That will now do a triple stitch. And you'll notice that there's a blue version. You turn it to the blue. I think it's just a bit narrow. I've not actually used that yet. I've only ever used the yellow and the one of it so far. Obviously that's your buttonhole. So all these stitches are created depending on which bit you have this dial on. So for example, if I was going to do a bit of overlooking and I wasn't using my overlock, I was going to use this machine, I would turn it to, say there, use that one, and keep it on there. If I wanted to use that one actually, which would be better, which is the yellow one in the middle, you turn it around to S1 and that would give you that stitch. So if you want just a straight stitch there, and then this will determine the length of that stitch. So if I'm doing a doll, I use a lower stitch around 2 because you want that to be nice and tight and not to open up, because it's a safety feature of the toy. Clothing, I normally go in between, so about 2.5 to 3. If I'm top stitching, I go up to 3, maybe 3.5. And if you're doing a bit of a tack or like stay stitch, just to hold things together whilst before you do the proper stitch, and I go right up to 4. That's what I use there. So this machine also lets you do free motion. So behind the foot pedal, down the back of there is a little switch that you flick, and that drops your feed dogs. Lovely. The bobbin is top loading, so nice and easy to put in and put out. You get little box to put your things in. I've got some bits and pieces in there. I don't tend to hold thread in it really. Get a little bag of treats, as I call it. So you get needles and your different holes and stuff. And also you can change your needle position. Can you, let me see if I can show that to you better. There. So left, middle and right. I generally see left and middle. Don't always see right, so that's quite nice. It kind of does have this feeling that it works both handed ways, and as a left-handed person, that's brilliant. Hold on, I'm gonna hold you and open this. So this is what I got with it. Needles, including denim needles. Goes through thick fabrics. Your normal feet, got all your button feet. Little key to do things with it. Stitch guide. All that stuff, all that normal stuff that you get. But yeah, so the function on this is like when you first get it, it's a little bit confusing, those dials. But go through your manual. But remember, yellow is S1. Blue is S2. So when you've done something like the zigzag on something, when you go back to it, you need to turn that bottom dial back to straight stitch to make sure you get a straight stitch again. Other than getting used to those dials, that was the only thing that kind of, you know, like took me a little bit of time. The foot pedal's really responsive. I find I have really good control over the speed when I'm sewing. Like I said, it goes over seams like a knife through butter. Nothing so far that I've done has phased this machine, and I am a heavy sewer. I sew a lot, and I sew a lot of different things and a variety of fabrics and stuff. And so far I have found this machine to be pretty spot on. I'm really impressed with it, and it came with an extension table, which I think, like my Toyota one that I had to pay an extra £50 just for the privilege of having the extension table. Don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful machine and I love that machine. So you know, but this I am more impressed with because it's compact, it's a smaller machine. It came with a table, it was lower in price, and I would say same quality. The only difference I don't have anymore is the OK key, Toyota OK key I had before. The stitch width changed with the foot pedal. So when you press the pedal, it changed the width. And I never really truly got to terms with that. It was so alien to me because I'd started sewing with normal sewing machine where the pedal was purely for speed of the sewing and not for the actual thickness of the stitch. So as much as I did use it on occasion, it wasn't natural. To me, it didn't feel natural. I haven't really done any free motion on this machine yet. I have got like a mini quilt coming up that I'm going to be doing. It's like, well, I say mini quilt, it's going to be a quilted pillowcase for my son. So I will use the free motion on this for that, just to see what it's like. And yeah, I'll probably let you know then. But yeah, I love this machine. As I said before, the dials do take a bit of getting used to, but other than that, I found it to be a really good solid machine. It winds bobbins really nicely as well. I've had other machines in the past where they kind of go a bit stuttery and funny, and sometimes areas of the bobbin be a bit tighter than others. This is really even and smooth, so that's good as well. A lot of people don't think about things like the bobbin. Yeah, love this machine. I look forward to many years sewing on it, because it's definitely going to be it's the machine that I have on my desk all the time. I haven't had to switch out for my heavy duty Singer, which I used to have to do. I used to have one machine for my nice pretty sewing, and I used to go and get my other machine for the heavy duty harder stuff. Haven't had to do that in, well, since I've had this machine. So that says a lot, that it's a more universal, well-rounded machine. So yeah, thank you for listening to me babble on about the necchi. If there's anything specific, if you have one, any queries or if you had any problems, if there's anything that I might be able to help you with, do drop me a comment and ask me a question, or you want to see anything particular done on it, I'm happy to do that for you as well. But yeah, I would say that if you're looking for a machine, this might be the one for you. It's a really good, universal, all-round, excellently priced machine. I'm very, very happy with it. Anyway, I'll speak to you soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to my page. That'd be really lovely. I kind of lost my sewing mojo for a little bit. I think I just got too busy with lockdown and stuff. It's definitely back with a bit more fire at the minute. So look, I'm going to be doing some really cute stuff ready for Christmas. Should I mention that word just yet? But I am, because I need to be prepared. I always leave all this stuff to the last minute, and this year I'm determined not to. And we're in lockdown and I have all this time, so I really need to utilise it. So look for them. Thank you very much. Hope you have a fantastic day. Bye bye.